We have a remarkable example of F around and find out coming to us from out of South Korea. How could it be so emotionally satisfying?
They're much more polite than even we are. Much more polite.
Well, lying because he's scared. He's terrified because Korea will be his prison.
안녕하세요, 원다입니다. 최근 한국을 방문하는 외국인 관광객 중에는 SNS 인플루언서 역시 많은데요. 이들은 자신의 채널을 통해 한국 관광 모습을 올리고 한국의 신기한 점, 한국의 여행 방법, 한국의 교통시설, 한국의 음식 등을 공유하고 있으며 한국의 치안 등의 놀라움을 표하며 알찬 여행을 이어가고 있습니다. 하지만 이런 아름다운 모습만 있는 건 아닙니다. 어디서나 빌런이 존재하기 마련인데요. 최근 한국에 들어와 각종 민폐, 진상행동들을 저질러 한국인들의 심기를 건드리고 평화의 소녀상에 입맞춤하는 등 여러 기행을 벌이다 결국 뿔난 시민들에 의해 응징당하고 경찰의 입건까지 되자 마지못해 사과한 조니 소말리가 그런 빌런이죠. 이 소식은 전 세계로 퍼져나가며 세계인들의 환호를 불러일으켰습니다. 이뿐만 아니라 한국이 얼마나 예의 바르고 놀라운 나라인지가 다시 한 번 더 조명됐는데요.
This is a Korean publication. YouTuber Johnny Somali gets decked after disrespecting Comfort Woman statue. One of the least sensitive things you could possibly do. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Well, it's just inappropriate, it's obnoxious, it's disrespectful, and willfully so. You're doing it on camera. You're doing it for an audience of however so many people. Obviously, the point is, I'm going to insult your culture for fun. No country should accept that. No country should respect that. The second that you show that you're willingly doing that for internet views, you should be banned from the country.
Yeah, and what kind of people watch that sort of thing as well? It's young children that don't know any better, and it's a bad influence on them, and very low IQ people.
Yeah, what a disgusting freak. It's particularly egregious in places like South Korea, because they're much more polite than even we are. Much more polite. My sister told me a story of once she was on a train. She was talking to her husband, just at a normal volume, just sitting next to him and talking to him. And people shushed her. When you're in public like that, you stay completely quiet.
Oh, if only.
Right.
Well, they're just telling him to shut up. It's like, be quiet, basically, is what he's saying there. So, I think you've seen enough to hate this guy, right? I think we're all in agreement that this guy is awful. So let's have a look at some revenge. South Koreans have been hunting down Johnny Somali and his friends for several days. They've beat him and dragged him into the road.
It's like Rambo. This is good.
And a Korean streamer was able to find out where he was by following his stream and started following him and harassing him in return.
Lovely.
And he doesn't like it when it's done to him, funnily enough.
He needs to be stopped.
So basically this goes on for a while. They basically follow him to the door of his hotel.
That's funny that they're harassing him back. That is good.
They get his
I
hotel
like
on
this.
camera as well.
Yeah, they show where his hotel is. And he's also not able to get into his hotel, and he has to get let in by one of his comrades, I suppose. And he's just being hounded. Look at
He's already got a plaster over his eye.
Oh yeah, he's already been punched in the face by this point. But it carries on and on and on. Here he is, getting cornered.
They're following him in the lift.
But he's getting really upset. He's just like, this is harassment, don't touch me. And he's started calling the police on them.
Surely there's a point of diminishing returns where if you were a rational and intelligent person with the mind of an 8-year-old rather than a 3-year-old, you would think this isn't worth it anymore. I'm being beaten, hunted, hounded out of every country that I go to. Maybe this isn't worth it. You'd think that would be something that crosses mind.
I want to shake the hands of those South Korean streamers that are doing that to him. That's brilliant.
미국의 한 변호사는 한국인들의 사적 제재를 보며 교육적 응징으로 명명했는데요. 점잖은 한국인들이 망나니 조니 소말리를 제대로 참교육한 것에 세계인들이 통쾌함을 느끼는 이유를 논리적으로 잘 설명했습니다.
We have a remarkable example of F around and find out coming to us from out of South Korea, where the repugnant internet prankster Johnny Somali got himself absolutely rocked by a South Korean Navy SEAL. Johnny Somali had been making a pest of himself in South Korea for some time and had attracted the attention of a number of, reasonably enough, offended South Korean content creators. The particular attention of a former South Korean Navy SEAL who served in the Korean military UDT, that's Underwater Demolitions Team or Navy SEALs. Yes, that kind of SEAL, high-level special forces. How could it be so emotionally satisfying? because emotionally, we humans love the rough justice of F around, find out. F around, find out. What's called the educational beatdown, which really is what this striking of Johnny Somali is, an educational beatdown. And while we have less of that in America than we used to, it does characterize a large majority of South Korea. And there are places in the US where doing something that society considers rude will get you beaten without a second thought. And I would add, every culture has its limits, even the normally rather restrained South Korean culture. Being rude is really the violation of a standard or norm of behavior within that particular community, exactly the kind of conduct Johnny Somali intentionally and aggressively engages in when he's in South Korea for the purpose of content creation. One consequence of such rudeness can be the educational beatdown, the physical striking of the violator of norms. Generally, if you were just stupid and should have known better, the educational beatdown will be quick, sometimes just a single strike, almost offhand. It's a spanking between adults. Like here, where it's being delivered by a former South Korean Navy SEAL. You broke one of our community's standards of behavior, and we perceive that a quick, limited spanking will teach you to avoid doing that in the future, and it mostly works. If the recipient of the educational beatdown acknowledges that they were wrong, it's over quickly. If the victim does not acknowledge that they broke a rule, if they argue or get indignant, then the educational beatdown will continue, will escalate. This particular educational beatdown is not, in fact, fully complete. Something Johnny Somali should keep in mind.
구독자 1,600만 명을 보유한 미국의 유명 유튜버 역시 각종 기행을 벌인 끝에 경찰에 입건된 조니 소말리의 소식을 전하며 환호했는데요. 그는 한국 판사가 이 벌레에게 일본처럼 관대하지 않길 바란다 라고 전했죠.
Anytime. I don't give a fuck. I have no morals. I'm a fucking sociopath.
You're not a sociopath. You're a dweeb. You're an embarrassing little weirdo. You're a tiny little rat that your community feeds some cheese to in order to enable you to keep entertaining them through getting your ass beat because you are a gluttonous knuckle sandwich magnet. I like that jelking Johnny tries to pretend that it's a little harder than it is, like, well, I'm just kind of a sociopath. You know, pumping out his chest. Yeah, I do it all for money and clout because I'm a sociopath. No, you are not. You are a nerd. You are a pitiful dork where he is now facing up to 10 years in prison. This happened in Japan too, where ultimately he didn't get the book thrown at him. They kind of just slapped him on the wrist, gave him a little pat on the bottom, and then sent him on his way to get his ass beat in another country. But South Korea, things have been going a little bit differently for Johnny Somali, because he is getting fucking spawn camped there. The South Koreans hate him. So anytime they see him, it's on sight. They are throwing hands, and it has been just such a joy to watch him just get fucking clocked every time he fires up a stream. He's taking more and more damage. So as his streams have progressed in South Korea, he's wearing more and more medical bandages because he has so many injuries. Johnny Somali is not a fighter, so anytime something happens, he runs away like it's, you know, Tom and Jerry, and usually he doesn't get very far because he's also not athletic, so he still gets an ass beating, just more like across like a block as opposed to in one location. And one thing that's just a classic Johnny Somali move is he likes to pretend he is the victim when that happens, even though he is the instigator. So before this clip happened, it was Johnny threatening them. Like, people don't like Johnny, so they'll go, of course, like, tell him, get the fuck out, stop being racist and all of that. And Johnny will usually just keep trying to elevate confrontation in order to, you know, stir the pot and hope that something like this happens. And then when it does, he's like, oh, this is ridiculous. I've got it all on camera. It's so pathetic. So bad there that he is being investigated by the government. He can't leave South Korea and will be facing potentially 10 years in prison with all of the new stuff that they have been looking. Hope that South Korea will not be as lenient as Japan was with this absolute worm. He flexed, openly bragging about how he got let off easy in Japan. And his lying. It's actually crazy. I hope South Korea plays some hardball with him here and doesn't give him an inch. He is going to keep doing this across the globe. He's not going to stop. Do the world a favor. Lock him the fuck up. Please, Jesus.
한국에 가는 게 목표인 한 흑인 유튜브는 조니 소말리 때문에 흑인들의 이미지가 끔찍하게 되고 있다며 걱정을 늘어놓았습니다.
So guys, that's the Johnny Somali update. Thank freaking God. Get him out of here, okay? He's going out here and making black people look terrible. I know that Koreans are smart, okay? They know that not every black person is like this. I get it, but it's still an image issue, you know, right? People are going to look at this and just kind of like, you know, goddamn black people. And I get it, right? But like, it's very important. This man is not just hurting himself. He is hurting the image of how people, you know, view black people. I don't even know if he's a black dude. That's the craziest thing. I don't even know. I might be racist. I might just be assuming that he's black. So someone who's not black will definitely be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy is black. Anyway, my goal is to basically go to Korea. All right. I'm going to go take a trip. I'm going to go hang out with the homies. I'm going to say what's up. I'm going to say hello. I'm going to respect their culture, you know, and we're just going to have fun. We're going to have a blast, and we're going to record that Koreans love anybody who respect their culture. Everyone, as long as you respect them, they love you, you know? So I'm going to go there.